Horman. His dad has filed for divorce from his wife, Terry Horman, Kyron's stepmom. Terry, of course, the last person to see little Kyron at his school June 4th. Kyron's biological mother, Desiree Young, says the family was not allowed to help search for Kyron. Check this out.
Unfortunately, they don't allow that. We're not certified in searching, and I don't think they want us traipsing through the woods, ruining evidence, and, you know. Unfortunately, I've watched CSI, but I wouldn't have the first clue how to collect evidence.
Straight out to investigative reporter Michelle Segona for the very latest on this fast-developing case. Michelle.
Investigators right now, Jane, they're continuing to go through 350 of the questionnaires passed out just a couple of weeks ago to everyone at the school. They're conducting interviews this week as we speak right now. About 100 deputies directly from that particular sheriff's department in the area. In addition, they will go out and they will search areas. Searches today, however, have not been conducted. But as you mentioned earlier in the show, there's been a petition for divorce that has been filed along with a search warrant, not a search warrant, actually a protective order that has also been filed. And in addition to that particular protective restraining order against Terry Moulton Horman, we have to keep in mind that there obviously has been some sort of evidence that has been brought forward. And for a judge to be able to say, hey, I grant you this particular restraining order, not only against your husband, but also you're not allowed to see your 18-month-old child, is definitely saying something.
Well, Stacey Honowitz, you're the Florida prosecutor. Does he have the right to just pick up and leave with their 18-month-old daughter? After all, the stepmom, Kyron's stepmother, Terry Horman, has not been charged with a crime. She is not even being labeled a suspect or a person of interest. So what gives him the right to just go up there and take the child and take off with her?
He has every right in the world if he can show a judge that there's some sort of evidence that this child is in danger. And I think this is going to be a big break in the case, Jane. This is huge news to know that during an investigation of a missing child, the husband files for divorce and asks for protective order. Why does he have a right to do it? Because he possesses some knowledge where his child could be in danger. And if the judge, like I said, evidently the judge believes that evidence.
Okay, let me jump in. Could the knowledge be something that he found out from authorities? In other words, obviously something changed. Okay, they presented a united front at the beginning of this case. Then yesterday, the 3 of the 4 blended family parental units issue a statement. Terry's left out of it. And then he immediately files for divorce and gets a restraining order. I mean, where else could it come from if not from law enforcement, this new information that would result in these radical changes?
Well, it could come from law enforcement. That's the first thing. And second of all, we are not privy to all of the people that they are speaking with. You know, when you have a pending investigation, you have to keep things quiet. And we don't know what evidence is coming from where, but certainly in interviews with family members, friends, and law enforcement, all this evidence could have come to the forefront, which forced him to go into court and get this protective order.
Sherry, Pennsylvania, your question or thought, ma'am?
Hi, Jane. I just want to say, me and my husband, Jeff, we love you. We watch you every single night.
Thank you so much.
First off, I just want to say, I have actually 2 questions, but I just want to say that her body language, she seems like really cold and really distant, and it looks like an acting thing. But I want to know, did they do DNA testing on the clothes that she was wearing that day and the truck that she was supposedly driving?
All right, Michelle Segona, what do you know?
I can tell you that they definitely searched the truck at least 2 times. That's from what we've been told, although investigators have said that it was in the shop for repairs. As far as the family, they have come forward and said that they have opened their house, they have opened their computers, they've opened everything to investigators. So in that particular instance, they would not need a search warrant. As far as collecting her particular clothing, they will not say for sure if they have collected DNA or her clothing.
Now, Mike Brooks, there was the photo that she posted. She leaves the boy at school, she says, at 8:45. And then at 1:21, and I think we have this photo we can put up, there was a photo that she posted on her Facebook that shows the little boy, Kyron, standing right in front of his science project, which involved frogs. You're going to see it in a second. Now, I assume if they check the computer, the first thing that they would have to do is to see, well, how was that photo handled? Was it
Yeah.
photoshopped?
Sure.
You know, what was done with that photo?
That'd be easy to find out, Jane. You know, as you know, the FBI is involved. Their CART team, their child abduction response team is there. All they would have to do is take that, send it to the lab at Quantico. The special photo unit would take a look at that. But Jane, you know, there's so many gaps in this timeline of the morning that he disappeared. You know, and what brought law enforcement to Solvay Island? You know, there are other media outlets that are saying it was pings on her cell phone that led them there. But, you know, and as you talked about the polygraph, and Jack is absolutely right. You know, was she deceptive? Was it inconclusive? Of course, they may not tell anybody that.
All right, I want to just have you focus on the pings and the Solvay Island. There is an island near the school. It's called Solvay Island. They've called off their general search, but they are apparently searching over and over again in this one area where there's a lot of water, and there were some reports about what? Pings?
Apparently cell phone pings from her cell phone, because she had given one story that she had gone out and run some errands, but it put her in the area of Solvay Island, about 10 miles from the house that morning, so it didn't fit with her version of a timeline.
Some blogs out there have compared Kyron's case to the disappearance of Haley Cummings. AssociatedContent.com points out that both cases begin with a caretaker telling a story of a bizarre disappearance of a child on their watch. Also, both children disappeared in places where somebody should have noticed. Kyron disappeared in a school hallway. Haley was supposedly tucked into her own bed. So is that a fair comparison, Dr. Dale Archer?
No.
You know what? I think it's fair, and I'm going to take it one step further and posit that perhaps the motive was the same in both cases, and that motive would be the green-eyed monster of jealousy. And in this particular case, it could well be that she had her own child 18 months ago and felt that too much attention was being paid to Kyron, and as a result, she got madder and madder and eventually got angry enough to possibly be the suspect in this murder.
Well, we want to stress that she is not considered a suspect or a person of interest. You're looking at the biological mother there, and I'd like to see another picture of the biological mother, because you talked about jealousy. The biological mother is also, let's face it, she's a very attractive young lady. So that could be another factor as well. I mean, you have this stepmom who is literally raising somebody who is not her flesh and blood, who is the flesh and blood of the man that she ultimately marries. The biological mom had become ill after she divorced Kyron's dad and had gone to Canada because she had kidney failure. And that's when Terry had moved in. There's the biological mother, okay?
But
go ahead.
Jane, yeah, I want to say that I think that that would all fit with the jealousy motive because of the fact she moved in and started taking care of the child when her friend got sick. Then she ends up marrying the boy's father. So she is really in a caretaker role across the board, and perhaps everyone is really looking up to her at that point. As he gets older, the attention probably shifted from her over to the boy, and she started feeling left out of the family structure. And, you know, you can't underestimate jealousy. That is a huge, huge potential motive for anyone.
Or resentment. Resentment of having to care for a child that she might have initially been very enthusiastic about caring for, but then became less enthusiastic, possibly, when her own flesh and blood was born to her. This is all sheer speculation. We don't know what it's all about. I need to go to Jack Tramarco. You are the former FBI profiler and you're a polygraph expert. What are your thoughts on the fact that she has been asked to take 2 polygraphs at this point, and that her friend reportedly said that she was very upset about the second polygraph? Didn't specify whether it was about having to take it or what, but just that she was unhappy with it.